Welcome, this is Craig Bennet at Evergreen Chevrolet, thanking you for your time. I've been asked to give you a little presentation about the all-new Chevrolet Bolt. Well, it's not exactly all new, it's been around since 2018 in its present state. One of the first things I think I want to address is, are you an electric vehicle person? And you have to ask yourself, not all vehicles are for me. How far do you drive? Where do I drive? How often I drive? Where I park my car? All of those things come into play when you're looking at a new electric vehicle. Now, why do I ask those things? A lot of people drive 50, 80, 100 miles one way to work, and they might not be able to make it because they have this thing called range anxiety. Well, how far is my car going to go? Can I get to a charger? Those are things I'm going to ask and cover in this little review of this car. Now, Chevrolet has been investigating and building this car for over 40 years. We started with the EV1 back in the early 90s and 80s, and that car was just a kind of a transitional car. When we came out with the Chevy Volt, that V as in Victor, that was in 2012, that car only went 40 miles in range on electric. Well, what do we have here? Well, this all-new Bolt can go, on a good day, up to 260 miles on a single charge. Something I want to point out is this is my Bolt. It's not some other manufacturer's, it's my Chevy Bolt. And I understand that other manufacturers, perhaps all manufacturers, make an electric vehicle today. I'm not here to talk about all those other vehicles. I'm here to talk about my Chevrolet Bolt and what it has to offer. It's a fun car, it's a pretty car, and it's very functional. When you look at this opening right here, you have a plug-in port that says, I'm an electric vehicle. This has so many things that it tells you. It means I pass by gas stations every day, and all I do is wave to them, because I'm done with gas stations. If I have this port, I'm not going to a gas station. You might go there for directions, but I'll show you here in a minute or so why you don't even need to go there for directions, okay? And these little Mickey Mouse ears, they'll come into play too. Those Mickey Mouse ears tell me that I can stop at fast charge stations along the way and charge 80% of my capability in less than an hour. That means I can go in someplace, stop for a hamburger, and in the time it takes me to have my hamburger, I can come back and my car will have 180 miles of range on it, ready to put me on to my next trip. I mentioned that this car is all new. Well, it's all new to me because, 40 years ago when I started in this business, if it didn't have a big engine and powered by petroleum, then it didn't make sense to me. But this all-new car is powered by electricity. And where's the electricity stored? Well, it's stored in a huge battery area that's down below this seat on the undercarriage of the car. Now, what that helps to do is make a low center of gravity. Now, when you add in 266 pound-feet of torque, a low center of gravity, this interesting, efficient car becomes a sporty, fun car to drive. That's right, an electric car, and it's fun to drive. Now, if you notice, I have a lot of room in here. Wow, I have fun to drive, a lot of room, efficient. That makes it pretty good buy for most people. Now, this fun-filled car is full of features. I have things like heated steering wheels and avoidance stuff like accident avoidance. It'll warn me if somebody stopped in front of me. It'll actually help slow down the car. Here on the console, I have, like you normally do, you put the car in park, reverse, neutral, and drive. But you also have a thing called low range. Now, what that low range does is takes advantage of the regenerative braking in this car. Now, I have the capability in this car of doing what's called one-pedal driving. So if I put my foot on the accelerator, I move forward. If I take my foot off the accelerator, I slow down. How much do I slow down? Well, again, if I'm in the low range, it's really aggressive. Between the low range and this paddle that's on this side right over here, I can actually slow this car down to a stop without ever touching the brakes. Now obviously the brakes are there for any aggressive stop that you need, but if you're willing to invest in a little bit of a new learning curve, you can actually use the engine to accelerate and the engine to stop. That makes this car pretty efficient. And again, when you drive by those gas stations and wave, you know, you might use this paddle over here to slow down a little bit so they can see you waving. But again, that's what you're going to do. In the center stack here, I have a 10.5-inch big display screen. And one of the things you're going to notice is, boy, it tells me when I can charge the car. Music, I can stream stuff from my phone, because this big intelligent system here has something called Apple Carplay or Android Auto. And what that means to the average person, that everybody carries a phone, is my phone can connect to this display, and most of the features I have on my phone can be displayed here. Now some people will say, wow, I don't have navigation on my screen. Well, if you have navigation on your phone, or Waze, or some of those popular things, you'll have navigation on your screen. In the back of the Bolt, you know, people think they don't have a lot of room for storage. There's more than ample storage here for your day-to-day stuff. It's multi-tiered storing, so you have storage down below. This shelf can actually raise, and this cover actually moves up here so that any of your items that you have stored here are safely secured and out of view. Now you also have something that's really handy. These seats, if you will, these seats not only get out of your way, but they provide a very spacious storage area that you won't find in some of the smaller other brands that are advertised as electric vehicles. But as you can see, if you need the space to go to Costco, to go to your big bulk shopping, you have more than ample space in your nice, efficient car. As I mentioned, this is my Bolt. I'm very proud of what General Motors has given me in this vehicle. And as we enter this next generation of electric vehicles, my Bolt is going to be the basis of a lot of new things. You're going to hear about the Bolt EUV. You're going to hear about the Silverado EV. Hummer has a new electric vehicle. There's a lot of offerings coming from General Motors in the electric world. But this is my Bolt. And as my Bolt, I want you to know it's attractive. It's got a drag coefficient the same as my Corvettes. It's fun to drive, low drag coefficient, low center of gravity, lots of power. It's fun to drive. And attractive. Did I say it's attractive? You know, this is a car anyone can be proud of, and they can be proud of every time they drive past those gas stations. This is my Bolt, and thank you for looking at it with me. Thank you, Craig Bennet. Have a great day.